Here I have 1 teaspoon of pepper powder, half a teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, and half a teaspoon of turmeric or haldi powder. 1 medium onion chopped fine, 1 small tomato chopped fine, half a cup of prawns and 4 bindis or ladyfingers, 7 to 8 cloves of lavang and 5 cloves of garlic chopped fine, 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 cup of thick coconut milk, some salt to taste. So those are all the ingredients that we need. Now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of oil to a pan. So while the oil is getting nice and hot, I'm going to mix all of these powder masalas well together. And then I'm going to add the vinegar to the powder masalas and mix everything to make a nice thick paste. Now we want the oil to be nice and hot, so on a low to medium flame I'm going to heat the oil up. And like I said, I'm going to add this vinegar to the masalas and I'm going to mix them well till they become a nice paste. Now this is a very refreshing light curry and it goes best with some lovely rice. So that's done. And now that our oil is hot, I'm going to add the cloves or the lavangs. I'm going to fry them a bit so that they flavor the oil really well. And now I'm going to add the chopped up garlic. Now it's always very handy that, if you peel some garlic and keep it in a small airtight container in your refrigerator so that you don't need to, sit in last minute, clean up and peel up garlic. Now I'm going to add some chopped onion and saute it well. We're going to fry this onion till it becomes nice and translucent. So this curry, if you haven't tried out this Goan Caldeen curry, you should, because it's really, really delicious. Now I'm going to add this mix powder paste of pepper, coriander, cumin and turmeric. Now I'll leave the video link of how I prepare my powder masalas at home, that is for coriander, pepper and cumin, how I prepare my powders masalas at home. I'll leave a link to my video. Now I'm going to add the coconut milk and we're going to mix all of this really, really well. Well, already my kitchen has such a beautiful, the aroma of this Caldeen is really, really it's very mild, but it's really very nice. Now I'm just going to flavor it with some salt to taste. And this Caldeen gets ready also pretty quickly, as you will see. Now I'm going to add the prawns. Now the quantity that I'm making is just enough for 2 people. So if you want to make it for 4, then just double the quantity. Then I'm going to add the tomatoes. And we're going to mix everything nicely well together. Cook on a low to medium heat, stirring in between. And now I'm going to add these lady fingers that I've just, cut off the top, the tips, and I'm adding it to the curry. And now we're just going to cover and cook this for about 7 to 8 minutes so that the prawns as well as the lady fingers or the bhindi gets cooked. So on a low to medium heat, on a very low heat actually, just cook it for about 7 minutes. Now you'll see that the curry has really thickened up, or the Caldeen has thickened up. So we're going to add about 1/4 cup of water. We don't want it to be very watery like a stew, but we have to have a little bit of thickish consistency. So I'm just going with about 1/4 cup of water. So add that and then mix everything or stir everything well. Now I also have another recipe for a fish Caldeen, so I'll leave the link for that also below so you can go and check it out. And again I'm going to cover and just cook this for about 2 minutes so that everything comes together. And then we're just going to turn off the heat and our Caldeen is all ready. This is super, super delicious, guys, and the aroma also is so beautiful. So give this a try and let me know in the comment section as to how you like it. Now I'm going to be using 1 cup of prawns, which I've cleaned, deveined, 1 medium onion chopped fine, about 1 inch of ginger chopped fine, about 4 cloves of garlic chopped fine, 2 green chilies cut into fours, 1 tomato cut fine, and half a cup of coriander. Also, I'm going to use some haldi powder, some chili powder, and some salt. Now, all the ingredients with their measurements will be in the description box below. So I'm just going to marinate the prawns with some turmeric or haldi powder, some red chili powder, and some salt, and I'm going to mix it really well, and I'm going to set this aside for about 10 minutes so that the prawns get nicely flavored with the spices and the salt. So after 10 minutes, our prawns are ready to be used. So now I'm going to heat 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan, and once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add these prawns to the oil, and I'm going to fry them really well on a low to medium flame. So this should take you not more than a minute or two, because prawns really get cooked really fast, and fry also very fast. So once they're ready, just take them out in a bowl and set them aside. And I'm not using the very large size prawns. These are the between small and medium size prawns. They are full of flavor, and they just taste amazing. Now in the same pan, I'm going to add, these are the prawns that I've set aside. So the oil is nice and hot. So to the same pan, I'm going to add my chopped up garlic. Then I'm going to add the chopped up ginger. Next, I'm going to add the green chilies. Now I always like to use light green chilies, and I've cut them up into fours because they're less spicy, yet they're full of flavor. Now I'm going to fry all of this well till the rawness of the ginger, the garlic goes away. So this should take you about half a minute. You'll get the lovely aroma of the ginger and the garlic and the green chilies. Now once that is done, I'm going to add my chopped up onion. So I've taken a medium sized onion, and I'm going to add that, and I'm going to fry the onion till it turns a little bit translucent. And once it does, I'm going to just cover and cook it for about a minute. Now saute everything well. Now I'm going to add my chopped up tomato. So I've just taken 1 medium sized tomato and cut it up, and I'm going to add that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of the coriander that we chopped, because it really adds a lovely flavor to this bagar. Next, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder. Now we already marinated the prawns with 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder, and I'm going to add that, and I'm going to also add a pinch of red chili powder. Because the haldi powder, when you add it to the bagar, it adds a lovely color, and the chili powder also makes it a little bit spicy. Not over the top spicy. And again, we're going to cover and cook this for another minute, because we want our tomatoes to be nice and cooked. And now everything looks great. So now we're just going to add our fried prawns. The aroma in my kitchen is just unbelievable, and it makes me so hungry. I just can't wait for this to get ready. So now just add the prawns and just fry everything together so that everything gets well incorporated together. Well, I love to have this prawn chili fry just with some plain chapatis, Goan chapatis. I have a recipe for that. I'll link it below. Or you can have this with some sorak, rice, with some lovely mango pickle at the side. So I'll link all those recipes down. So if you want to go and make sorak, you want to make a mango pickle, you can, do that. And now I'm just going to turn off the heat, and I'm just going to add the remaining coriander. Now this coriander also adds a lovely, lovely flavor to this chili fry. And that's it, guys. This chili fry is all ready, and it tastes just amazing. So if you haven't ever had Goan chili fry, prawn chili fry, then you have to give this recipe a try. Do let me know in the comments section below how you like this recipe. I love hearing from all of you and I reply to. Let's start with today's beautiful recipe. Now first I've taken this eril, which is also called chawli or long beans. Now I've taken some water. To that I'm adding a little bit of salt. And what I'm going to do is now take off the tips of this eril. Sometimes they do have a string, sometimes they don't. So just take off the tips like this of all of the erils first. Like I said, some of them do have a string, sometimes they just come off like that. Now once that is done, I'm going to break these with my fingers. You can either do it this way or I'll show you the other way also. Just break them up into small little pieces like this, like you would do with gawar bhaji. You can take 2 at a time also. They are very easy to work with. So you can either do it this way or I'll show you how to do it with a knife also. So you can just take a bunch of them in your hand, just even them up so that they all come together at the tip, and then just take a knife and cut them. So whatever way you find easier for you, you can do it that way. So this is also a very healthy vegetable which you can eat, and I'm going to show you how to prepare it in a very easy way. So once we cut all of this, we're going to soak again, put it in this water, salt water, for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'm just going to rinse it out, using a colander and washing it really, really well and letting all the water drain away, like you'll see in the video. So just collect all of them like this, soak them. And then I'm going to just drain them like this and then wash them under my running water really, really well. You have to ensure that you wash your vegetables really well. And now we can start preparing our lovely vegetable. So here I'm just going to heat my pan. Once my pan is nice and hot, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil. Now you can use coconut oil also. It gives a beautiful flavor to the dish, but I'm just using regular cooking oil. Now once my oil is hot, I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds begin to pop, what I've done is I've just coarsely crushed 2 cloves of garlic in my mortar and pestle. So you can add that. I'm going to put a sprig of curry leaves. Let's say about 7 to 8 curry leaves. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera. Next, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing. Now I'm going to add 2 green chilies that I've just slit. I'm going to saute everything really nicely so the chilies get nice and fried. And I'm going to add 1 medium-sized onion chopped fine. Now we're going to bagar the onion really well till it turns nice and translucent. So this vegetable goes really well with as a side, dish to any food like sorak, rice. Now I'm going to add the nicely washed up eril. And we're going to mix everything really well together. So this goes well with sorak, rice, some fried fish. It even goes well with the meat dishes also. And it helps us to get our veggies in, which is really good for health. And once I've sauteed everything, I'm just going to cover and cook this for 7 minutes on a low flame, stirring in between. And you will see that it gets cooked really fast. Now I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi. Mix everything really nicely well. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste and a pinch of sugar as well. Just a pinch of sugar. And again mix everything well together. Now our vegetable is a little bit done. It's not completely cooked. So to help the process, we're just going to add about 4 tablespoons of water, or less than 1/4 cup of water. Just a little water to help the vegetable cook really well. Mix everything well together. And again we're going to cover and cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes till our vegetable is nice and cooked and the water evaporates. So you can see now that it's all ready. The vegetable is nice and cooked. You can even, test whether it's cooked by just taking a piece and tasting it. And I'm just going to I put the flame off, and I'm just going to add some freshly grated coconut. This coconut also makes the dish so very tasty. And that's it, friends. Our lovely Eril Fugat is all ready to enjoy. So I hope you beautiful Goan chapatis. Now I've taken about a teaspoon of oil, and I'm going to add about a cup of whole wheat flour. Now you can add salt, or I refrain from adding salt. And then I'm just going to add a little water at a time, and I'm going to mix all of this very well together to form a regular, chapati dough or puri dough. Now the dough has to be kneaded really well. It has to be nice and smooth and soft, yet it has to be firm. It shouldn't be, falling like a pizza dough. It shouldn't be very very soft. It should be just a kind of a firm dough. That is, as you're kneading it, you should find the firmness. You shouldn't find a lot of moisture in it. And if you find that, just keep adding a little water at a time. So it should be firm, it should be smooth, and it should be, like your hands shouldn't have any more of the dough or the wheat flour on your hands. Your hands should be completely clean. So you keep on kneading this dough till you get that consistency. So I leave the measurements of how much flour I used, how much of water I used in the description box below. So now let's get making this beautiful Goan chapatis, which are square as you've seen in the pic. Now I've got my pan heating on a low to medium heat. I'm going to take a little bit of dry flour. I'm going to take a large lime size bowl of the flour. Now I've stored the remaining flour in my steel container in my refrigerator. So I've just taken a little bit of it just to show you all how to make this beautiful Goan chapatis. So you roll them nicely till they're nice and smooth. Just press it down like this. And then we're going to put a little bit more of flour, and we're just going to roll this with our rolling pin just to form a small little round. Yeah, that's about it. Now we're going to drizzle a few drops of this clarified butter or ghee, and we're going to spread it around evenly so that it coats the entire circle. Now we're going to fold one half like this, the other half like this way, and then we're going to dust a little more flour on the top. And then you're just going to roll the pin in such a way that you keep getting the square. So you only roll it on the edges, don't roll it in the middle. Start rolling from the sides only. And that way, you keep doing this and you'll get this really, this typical square kind of, shape. It does come with practice, but don't give up. Just try and try. You will get it. And even if it comes a little bit out of shape or if it comes a little bit round, it's okay. So I'm just going to show you again from a different angle. So if you fold it in this way, you will get the square shape. Just keep rolling the pin over the edges and not from the center. Now sometimes if you find that your dough is really hard, then you just have to add a little bit more of water and a few drops of oil and just keep kneading it. If you find that your dough is very slimy and has a lot of water, then keep adding flour. Now over here for about 1 cup of flour, I used about 3/4 cup of water. That also adding a little at a time till I found, it was the right consistency. And adding the oil after kneading and keeping it aside also helps in, getting the dough to the right consistency. It does come with practice, friends. And I too, after practicing, I can, make the chapati dough to the right consistency and the right square and everything. Some of you all might be even, some of you might be experts in this field. So now that your tawa or your pan is hot, you'll now roast the chapati on one side. You'll see the little bubbles to come up. Just turn it on the other side. You'll see this white kind of color on the other side. Just turn it over again, and then you'll see that it starts to fluff up a little at the edges. Turn it on the other side. Now it starts fluffing up nicely. Now, ideally, we use like my grandmother, my dad used to use this round iron, tawas, which were pretty heavy, and they were the traditional ones. They had a little bit of kind of a, like a bowl, a deep bowl kind of shape, and the chapatis used to come amazing in that. And it was a tear up the chapati. You'll see the lovely layers also that it forms. So my chapati is ready. So friends, let's start with today's easy to make marble cake. So let's go through the ingredients. Well, here I have 125 grams of plain flour or maida, 125 grams of powdered sugar. This is about a quarter cup of 4 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. These are 3 egg yolks and 3 egg whites. This is a quarter cup or 4 tablespoons of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, 125 grams of butter at room temperature. Now all the ingredients will be given in the description box below. So to a large bowl, I'm going to add the butter which is at room temperature. I'm also going to add the powdered sugar and I'm going to mix the two really, really well till it becomes into a very light and pale kind of a mixture. So you can either use a whisk or a spatula like this and really mix it well, for about 2 to 3 minutes at least. Mix it till you get this lovely pale yellow color. Now we're going to add the egg yolks and again mix it in well. Now we're going to add the egg whites and mix it again. Next we're going to add our vanilla essence and again mix everything really well. Next goes in the baking powder. And now we're going to add the plain flour and again mix everything till we get a very smooth batter. Now I'm going to divide the batter into 1/3 and 2/3. So we're going to only keep 1/3 with we're going to add some cocoa. So I'm going to take the unsweetened cocoa powder and add the milk in to the cocoa powder. So we get this thick kind of a paste, and we're going to add that to this batter. So we require only 1/3 of the mixture to be a chocolate color or with the cocoa flavoring, and the rest is going to be plain. So mix this in well till you get this nice and dark, rich cocoa or chocolate color. So now I've preheated my oven to 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and I've also lined my loaf tin with some baking paper, parchment paper. Now I'm going to use half of the mixture of the plain batter, and I'm going to then top it up with this entire chocolate or cocoa mixture. Just even it out, and then I'm going to put the remaining plain batter on top. So even that part out also. Don't forget to preheat your oven during this time for 10 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. And then you're just going to take a sharp knife like this and just swirl it around in this manner. So this will give your cake the lovely marble effect. And now we're just going to bake this at 200 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Let the cake completely cool before you demold it. And then just cut it up into these lovely slices, and you'll see the lovely marble effect of each slice. Now this cake is really very moist and really delicious. So do give this cake a try and let me know your feedback as to how you like this cake. So this cake also has a very long shelf life. You can keep it at room temperature in a nice airtight container for about 2 to 3 days in a nice dark and cool place. Otherwise, you can refrigerate it, and whenever you want to serve it, just keep it out for about 10 to 15 minutes.